Say what's up, everyone. It's Mike Green. I'm here with Robert, one of my mastermind students, actually in my higher level group, because Robert's not a newbie. He came into the game doing some deals. Thanks for jumping on, man.
Absolutely, Mike. How you doing today?
Good. Hey, I just wanted to introduce you to the group. There's a lot of people going to be listening to you. And I know you last time you were on the podcast, you had some different stuff you shared. It was awesome. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your journey and kind of, with the group you've been in.
So for the mastermind group, or just kind of where I started off at?
Yeah, where you started and then kind of like your interaction with the mastermind, how some of the things you've done and
Absolutely. So I've been investing now for like 4 years. Wanted to get into the flipping business from watching TV shows like everybody else. My first couple of flips, I had some challenges and struggles, and it kind of got my scars along the way, but I was still able to get some deals done. I was averaging probably before I met Mike, I was averaging about 5 or 6 deals a year, and I wanted to scale my business and grow. So that's what kind of got me into thinking about reaching out, trying to find a mentor. I know in my other career, working for McDonald's, a lot of my success came from mentorship and people helping me along the way and trying to find a shortcut and take it instead of taking the long road. So that's why I was reaching out and kind of going up to meetups, listening to podcasts, just trying to find out who could help me with this journey of being better. And I came across Mike because what may be intriguing to Mike, it was the fact that he said simple. So all of his things were simple. Fun flip, and I think it's fun flip or something. It's like three simple things. I'm like, that's my type of guy right there.
yeah, I'm like I attract people that don't want to be too smart, right?
Right. That's good. Just go right or left or front or back or something like that, keeping it real simple. And that was the key thing too. I think just that word simple was like, okay, what this guy's talking about. Let me see what he got to offer us. And I went to one of your first meetup groups
Mhm.
out at BWI Airport. And it was just like, this guy's doing 100 houses. He seems real relaxed and you had a cool suit jacket on this day. So I was like, I don't
That's
see
my
your suit
guy, man.
jacket too often, right? So now that I know you, right? That day you had a nice jacket on. I was like, this guy looks pretty sharp. Like somebody I probably could listen to.
Yeah, man, that's great. It's funny because you came from like a higher level position at McDonald's, and you weren't like a cashier or a burger maker. You're actually like more of a higher level management. What I love about McDonald's, I always love studying like the story of McDonald's, and yeah, we call it McDonaldizing, right? Their beliefs is they make things so simple that anyone can do it and repeat it. And I love applying that to house flipping.
Yeah.
When you take things that are really complex and you make them simple, not only can you do it and keep up with it, like an average Joe like me, and Rob, you're pretty average Joe, right? You're probably you're less average than I am, actually. You're probably a little smarter than I am, but college and
Average guy.
stuff, but you're just a normal guy, right? You're not like the next Einstein or
Not at all.
you didn't build any Teslas or anything, right? But you're just normal people, right? And I think a lot of people that are gravitating towards household are pretty normal people and they want to know it can work for them. And I think when you McDonaldize systems, you make them simple because like there's a lot of complex stuff in this, but we got to break it down to simple in order to get results. And McDonald's definitely has done that at a high level. And doing it in house flipping though is a lot of fun, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy fun to do that.
Absolutely. So from the McDonald's perspective, I mean, everything down to how you build a cheeseburger is a step-by-step process. It's mustard, ketchup, onions, pickles, and then your cheese and your burger. I mean, it's that simple. And they do a lot of standard operating procedures for everything. And one of my kind of being through management and being a supervisor, being a business consultant for them and project manager as well. I'm used to working in systems. And I felt like while I was flipping houses, when I got into it, I'm like, didn't really seem like a system. It was like, hey, what do you do how do you flip houses when you talk to people at meetups and things like that? And they say, well, look, go buy the house, you renovate it, and you sell it. I'm like, there's a lot in between there, I'm sure that
We
that you
could
got
talk
to do.
like just on the buying part, we could talk for like a year. The
Right.
selling part, we could talk a year,
It's
and
real.
the renovating part, right? I mean, there are deep disciplines. Most people
Yeah.
take that for granted that if you're going to be great at flipping, you got to become a master of a lot of things, right? Sales, how to talk with people, different personalities, how to market, how to do construction, how to be a designer, how to be an architect, right? You basically have to get kind of proficient at a very quick level. You got to get pretty proficient at a lot of things. And if done incorrectly, you could spend your life learning even just a few of those things. But when you McDonaldize it and make it really simple, you can get the basic understanding of how to do architect, how to do design, how to do all these different things in what we call the most simplest version so that you can be a very proficient house flipper. You need to learn this stuff, right? Thinking that you're just going to give it away to people is not very realistic.
And a lot of people don't talk about that part of it. They talk about the glamorous part. Oh, I got this $70,000 check and $100,000 check, and it makes it seem like it's so easy. but it's not. It's definitely something, nothing you should be afraid of, but at the same time, it's something that you got to put work into and learn. So, but I was still able to do, some deals and get things done. But my big issue I kind of had was that I was finishing projects and I wasn't making the profit that I thought I should make on the project. So I would go in probably saying I need to make 25,000 back then, and then it might turn into 15,000 or 10,000, whatever, because the project ended up running over. Contractors was taking longer on the jobs. There was no system, that I had in place. It was just more so buy the house. I knew the numbers on the front end. I was pretty good at that. I knew how to make sure I got a pretty good deal for the most part. But, managing the construction piece, I was dealing directly with contractors and that wasn't working out well. I definitely wanted to see also how I could scale it to a business. I didn't want to be to a point where I'm doing this for, the goal was for me to leave my job originally doing this thing. So I knew I made a pretty good salary, over 6 figures in my job. So I knew that I had to consistently be able to do deals to kind of replace that income. Without having a plan, it made me really afraid to kind of take that leap to move away from my job. So
you make a great point, Robert, is like you were flipping and you were making money, some on some, not on the others, but the inconsistency of it was like, it's hard to quit a real consistent, stable job for an inconsistent business of house flipping. And honestly, 99% of house flippers are very inconsistent, but what we focus on every day in the group and, me and Robert working together is like getting his business consistent. So you said like you had a lot of inconsistency. How's that changed over like the last 9 months to a year we've been working together?
The big thing is, I think it started with the beginning of the course where you kind of laid out a plan, helped me lay out a plan in terms of what I wanted to achieve for the following year. So I kind of had it in my head, but I never actually put it on paper before. That really made it so clear for me because I kind of went into that next year like, okay, this is how many houses I want to do. I think my goal was 12 houses, 3 wholesale deals, and 4 rental properties. That's the basis of it. Kind of having that clear plan from the beginning, having somebody help map that out for me really was a key piece right there because I had a target now. Coming from, my previous job and things like that. And then I could break it down. It was broken down by quarter as well. So not only here's your year plan, this is what you need to do for this quarter. These are how many houses you need to hit to reach your goal. And from there, it kind of just about going to execute. Now, I think that's the other part that was very helpful from you, Mike, is that one, the online course, very detailed videos instead of a bunch of stuff to read. But it's easy for a guy like me to just kind of sit down and listen to what you got to say versus having to kind of read books and then take notes and then try to circle back to it. Very brief to the point, 7-10 minute videos, some of them a little longer, but that was helpful to give me like the foundation of setting up the structure for my business to be successful. And then getting a chance to go out in the field with you and see from a person that's been doing 100, 200 flips, seeing what you're doing out in the field and how you assess properties and how you put together your plans from a scope of work to your budget and things like that was really, really helpful. From what I've seen, I was doing, like I said, probably 6 to 7 houses a year, somewhere in that range. This year, I'm trending to do 15 to 17 houses, depending if the other 2 can close by the end of the year. I was been able to more than double that. I also, as I said on the podcast, in March of this year, I was able to leave my job and do this thing full time. But at the same time, I'm confident that I can go out here and find deals. I feel confident I can renovate properties quicker and faster than a lot of my competitors. I don't know if I didn't have all that confidence then when I met you. So I definitely appreciate you and thank you for that. I think it's been a huge change in my life to be able to make decisions that you want to make when you want to, right? If I decide to take a vacation next week, I can still go take a vacation. Beginning when I started flipping, I wouldn't have been able to do that because I'd have been afraid everything would fall apart. Nothing would have got done. The houses wouldn't have got finished. I'm at the point right now, I might go to the house maybe 2-3 times a week. Maybe probably 2 times a week, and not all of them. Just kind of a couple of the projects in, or if I need to give some insight. But I was able to bring in somebody, my son, to work with me to kind of follow up on the projects and systematize that, so I don't have to be going out and checking out on houses all the time, and things are still happening. So
yeah, you've been diving in. You've been diving in though, so that you could get your son in, you could get other people. Because we do have a system. Like you'll hear a lot of people talk about, and I've definitely taken some coaching programs. Are like, we're going to teach you how to have everyone do it for you, and that's very appealing, right? Like it's going to be automated. You don't have to do anything. And I've learned over the years that I don't know if that exists. I think that like a part of like running a really strong business is the owner, the person who is going going to be judging whether it's good or bad almost has to get in and develop the system, create it, test it, feel it out, see what it feels like. So when they hire someone to do it, they understand it well enough that they can be a good boss and they can actually hold them accountable to what's real, what's possible, and not what they think it should be. Because I have to tell you, there's been many times I thought a job should take about half the time it should take. And then when I really did it myself, I was like, yeah, that was off, because I'm impatient. So I think everything should be done a lot faster than it gets done. And that creates a lot of maybe having an employee that's doing a great job, but I think they're not, because I'm not like really based in reality of what the actual standardized time should be.
That's exactly the point. I mean, like I said in the beginning, I definitely was able to do all those parts. I've loaded up the cars and ran to Home Depot. I've gotten towel, and I've went on the jobs and asked a million questions to my contractors on how, why is this wire here? What is this for? Should this be hanging out like that? I don't think there should be fire. You know what I'm saying? With the contracts to make sure things are done right, and learned a lot from them on that piece. But also, getting in there, doing your drawings, going to the house, figuring out your layout, trying to be consistent with your design. I'm still improving in that area. Things like that make it more easier for your people to execute. Those are a lot of things that we cover in the group. And then learning from some of the other people. I would say one thing about being part of a mastermind is not just always just the coach that gives you great things. As you see other people out of town in different cities and out of the country in Canada, etc. So that's doing different things, had different ideas, and brainstorming as a group and bringing it together. That helps you so much because it gives you a different way to look at something. And there's always, different angles that you can come from, but at the same time, following one true system and plan to kind of get things done consistently within the group. So I think, we've been able to create that. I don't know if it was like that before we came, Mike. I like the thing we had.
It was totally you, man. It was like,
No.
but everyone's of it, right? No, I'm joking around, but look, the mastermind, like the same thing Robert gets from it, I get from it as the coach. I get to share with you like some really detailed, cool systems and processes. But at the same time, the group is part of why the processes are evolving into being like some of the best systems I've ever seen. The results I get today are considerably better than what I got 2.5 years ago. And I started this mastermind about 2.5 years ago. And so I started it as a part of like I think the last part of my journey as trying to become a master house flipper, right, is to coach others and teach others, but not just like teach them and then be like, I'm the guy, it's all right, do it my way. But it's more this interaction of community of higher level people doing what they're doing. And when I say higher level, it doesn't mean you come in high level, but you come in struggling, but you're doing. But now you want to learn how to do it more consistently and get results that you want and take control of your business. Because I have to tell you, there's been many years where I was flipping and on paper, everybody was really impressed by me, but honestly, my financials weren't matching up. And now what I've been able to shift over the last, say, 3 to 4 years of making this shift into like having control of the outcome, controlling when my houses sell quickly, sell for more money, getting them done on time, on budget, not always perfect, but I have to tell you, I don't have houses that take 9 months anymore. I mean, I can't even tell you the last house it's been like just so that bad. I had plenty of those back in the day where just one would just go like completely down a dark tunnel and just not make money or lose money. And now I'm generally getting most stuff done in 2 to 3 months, but if it's bad, maybe 4 months. And I've realized, and I don't know if you agree with this, that like 4 months is bad, not perfect, but you won't lose money at 4 months. You'll just make a little less.
Yeah, I definitely see that. That was a big change in my business. Like I think I mentioned that before, is that the projects went down from like 5-6 months average to 2 to 4 months. I'm in that range right now.
You're doing some pretty big rehabs too. So yours are like 80 to 100K, like, legitimate rehabs.
It's funny. One of the houses I bought recently, I ran into one of the wholesalers that I guess he saw that I purchased the property. And he was like, yeah, how that project coming along? And I bought it like 2 months ago. And I'm like, yeah, we actually getting the stage right now. And he was like, what? What do you mean you're getting stage? And
yeah, that's fast.
$75,000 to $80,000 renovation. But one thing about having a system and having routines, my people know what to expect. We go in and we get things done quickly, and paying labor only and those type of things allow me to kind of keep them moving forward and want to get the project done so they can get paid and then move on to the next project. And I always communicate to them and let them know, like, that's one thing we talk about a lot about, hey, I have this next house set up for you a month from now that I'm going to close on if you can get this project done on time. So they know that they got work out there. And it's not just like, well, if I finish, let me move slower because this is the only job I got. They know I'm out there looking to kind of make sure they can actually do next projects moving into the future. And it helps gives them confidence that, hey, I'm going to complete this job and make sure it's right. So Robbie can keep giving me jobs in the future. It's really helped. So.
Yeah, you're really just, I mean, this is what Robert and I and many students we've all worked on is like, we, not just can we be rehabbers, we got to be leaders, right? We have to teach our people to be awesome if we want them. We don't just get them awesome. I wish we could just find somebody and just turn a key and they'd be like awesome. A lot of times our guys become awesome over time because that journey of them becoming awesome usually requires us to become more awesome, like leaders and bosses of them, right? If we're going to have people work for us, like you only get someone that is equal to the quality of where you are in your life. So if like you're not a great boss, you're not going to get a great employee or a great, subcontractor or contractor. So when people have told me like, oh, my subcontractors suck, I'm thinking like, well, likely you suck. And I'm not trying to say that in a mean way, but I'm only saying that you have some room to grow. And as you grow, you're going to attract better people. And this is just some real stuff. This goes across from like finding deals. You're finding bad deals, become better at what you're doing, become a better person. You will get better deals. You want better contractors, become better yourself. You want a better woman in your life, right? Become better. So, if you got a good woman in your life, you probably got something you're doing pretty well. And if you don't, then you probably got some stuff to work on there too.
Definitely. I mean, that was huge for me. Just the relationship. I think the whole business is about people. I think it starts from not only the contractors or people that work for you renovating the house. It's the relationships with your lenders, relationships with your realtors, and everybody that kind of circles you in that business. There's a small world in flipping business, in the real estate business. If you do somebody the wrong way or you don't treat people right, it carries over to the next person. And I think that's kind of part of the success that I've had on top of that is that I try to come at people the correct way, treat them with respect, and do what I say I'm going to do. And if I can't do it, then I need to go back to them and explain why I can't do it and how we can move forward. So that's some of the things you talk about in the mentorship as well as about the mindset. Because people think it's just as simple as take the screwdriver and you drill a nail into the house and you build it. But it takes a lot of framework and mindset from the person in charge to come up with ideas and thoughts on how we're going to move forward. And when something does happen and go wrong, how we move past that and fix it so it doesn't happen in the future, and continue to build a real business. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to build a business. I'm not all the way there yet. I still got a lot of work to do.
You never will be. That never ends. I'm on the journey 10 years later, man. That journey never ends. I just came to that realization a couple years ago that for many years, I'm like, okay, one day when I do this, I'll be there. And I always kept getting there and saying, okay, well, maybe when I get to this next level, I'll be there. You know what I've just accepted in the last couple of years, and it's been really helpful for me mentally, is that the journey, like enjoy the journey. It's fun. And I'm probably going to be on it forever. I might be 65-year-old guy flipping and still learning. And the second you stop learning is the second you start fading away, man. Usually within a couple years of being irrelevant and your system's not working. Because I have to tell you, part of staying humble and staying learning based has been the secret to why I'm able to like shift with the markets and make adjustments and constantly evolving and doing things way better than I ever thought was possible, because I just never stopped doing it. And like, you're on that journey. All the other people in the mastermind are on that journey. You said something earlier too that I thought was really insightful, is that you basically like, dealing with people is a big part of this. I can teach somebody like basic construction skills and how to like manage construction in a couple months. The people part of it is the part that is why we work together like a year, because you're learning the construction, you're learning to deal with the people, you're going out and testing the systems, getting feedback, then revising it. But the emotional part, right? The people part of this is that journey. When you learn to do that with your contractors, like for me personally, and I just give my own personal testimonial, as I got better at my contractors, I got better interacting with my mom, my brother, my family, right? My people that matter to me in this world, girlfriends, whoever it is. And it's pretty cool when you see your business evolve, but then your personal relationships evolve also.
I did one project with this one guy. I was testing out this new contract. I gave him a job. He finished, I set the targets with him. He probably wasn't used to doing a townhouse in 2 months, but I was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is the plan. I was up front with him and kind of treated him right. On payday, my people don't have to come look for me. I go look for them. I make sure I pay them on time, and I'm very honest with them up front. I don't go behind them and talk about them or say things if I say it to them directly. Sometimes people will walk to a job site and they just kind of start saying things to the contractor in front of the other people, and they feel disrespected, and it kind of grows from there. But just something as subtle as taking them to the side and saying, hey, this is not, I would like for this to be like this. Maybe I missed out on communication, what we can do better to kind of fix it going forward. I think they appreciate that. And so it was funny, I got him to do some other projects for me for a second project, but it was for my sister. She said that the guy told her, I was like, yeah, when I do this house, I only want to work for Mr. Rob. I don't want to work for anybody else.
That's awesome.
And he's been doing it for a while, right? But it's, I think it's so small, and some people, they think the small things go a long way with other people than you think, right? Just kind of talking to them with respect, doing what you say you're going to do, and paying them. They're not always going to get everything right. They're going to miss some things. They're going to misstep, but working with them and you trying to figure it out together as a team versus I'm the boss and you just an employee. I think that really helps. So that's one of the things.
Yeah. I'm so impressed to hear that because honestly, I think one of the things that you realize your business is starting to head in a direction, it's highly positive and really going to allow you to do this for a long period of time is when your people, right, your contractors get your pricing, they get your timeline, they're able to actually create the results. But then there's a loyalty to you. Like, I only want to work with Robert. I've got people that won't leave me unless I'd have to let them go. But I don't plan on it. That's one of the reasons I plan on flipping forever is these guys are going to be with me for as long as I can keep them around. And I have to tell you, man, that puts me and you and some of the other people in the mastermind in like the 1% of house flippers, because 99% of house flippers are struggling to get people to do it for the right price, get it done on time. And even if they could somehow get lucky and get that accomplished every once in a while, it's like very confrontational and hard, right? It's so awesome to have like someone that can work. They're learning to make money. They're doing really well. We're doing really well. And then there's this camaraderie, like they're friends and family to me, just like your guys. Like they start to become like family, and I want the best for them and I want to help them grow. And they're very thankful of that. It's just so different than like a lot of people. And me personally, when I say a lot of people, I really like to just say, I always like to be my own, my own case study. For years, it was very, I would call it like a fight, right? And I'm not afraid to fight, but I would like fight with the contractors to get done, fight to get the pricing, fight to keep more. And that fight, man, the shift I made a couple of years ago was like, stop fighting with them and start me and them fighting against something else. Like, let's fight against them not getting what they want, or, because they want to make money and they want to be successful and they want to have victories. And let's fight together to get them victories, right? And now we do that together. And like, I don't know, man, I think personally, I just like my people better now, and they like me. Like, house flipping can be fun.
Yeah, I was in a meeting recently, and everybody was in there like, "Oh yeah, I used to be a house flipper, but I hate it." He came to me. Everybody introduced us. I'm like, "Well, I'm a house flipper. I actually love it. I actually have a good time with it." And it goes back to maybe when I first began, I didn't love it because it felt like really hard work. I mean, it can be really hard work sometimes too, but I mean, you kind of have a plan and you have processes and systems. I mean, it makes it a lot easier and you feel a lot better about what you're doing. That's the power of mentorship. It's the power of this group. For those of you out there that might be thinking about it, it's definitely not a scam. It's great stuff. Mike is the real deal. Somebody really cares about you growing. I know one of his main things is you talk about, Mike, and people might not know this, that you want all of the people in your group to make back all the money that they invest. And the thing about it is you truly try to make that happen. Like, it's on your mind. And even if you don't bring it up yourself, Mike is bringing it up like, okay, we need to do this, to make sure that you get value from what you teach. And I know that's big to you, yourself, and just kind of the person you are, that you really care about your students and their success. And a lot of people say that, but, it's not always true. But it's definitely true from you, Mike, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Did you know, and I don't think I've ever shared this with you, 100% of the people in our higher level group have made their money back? Like, in the history of the group, I've never had a failure.
Wow, I did not know that.
Now we're a small group. We keep it like 10 or 12 people. We're not really big, but the key is I don't let people in unless I know they can make it, because I believe what we're teaching in house flipping is not really like flipping is a vehicle for us to multiply our money. But what do we do when we buy a house, right? We invest money and then we multiply that money back. We put 20 in, we get more back, right? When you invest in coaching, it needs to be that same concept. Like, how many times I paid $30K for coaching because I thought like maybe it'd be the answer, and then kind of a year later, nothing good's really came out of it. I want to make sure everyone that comes in this program, if they put money in that, they get that money back, not just one time, but they get it multiple times over. Right. So like, you went from 6 to like 15 to 17 houses. Like, even let's call it 15. And then we were even talking the other day, and he was like, you know what? I might want to take it to 20 next year, maybe higher. And what did I say? I said, you know what? If you're at 15, I bet you we could take your income up by 30 to 50% and still do 15. Like, just let's get even better at them and raise the profits, because we don't care about volume. We only care about money. Absolutely. Bottom line is make as much money as you can every flip, man. There's always room to grow that.
And that's what you want to hear from a coach. I mean, because, a lot of people say, go big, 10X it. Not nothing against Grant, but this type of thing. Yeah. What I like about you is that, I'm thinking like, okay, and it's possible I probably could do it or whatever case may be, but like you said, it's about efficiency. It's not the number of houses, it's about the income you produce from those houses. And that's a big difference, because, it feels good to go in and meet up and say, hey, I did 15 and 20 houses, but how much money did you make? How much profit did you actually put in the bank that's going to help you in your life and help your family in the future? So those type of things. And
That point means something, Robert. I got a student in Sacramento, pretty new to the group, but made $220,000 on one of his deals. Like, how many of those a year do you need to do, right? You don't need to do. For last year he did 4 deals. Okay.
yeah,
So, I mean, yeah, he's doing fine, by the way, right?
yeah,
He wants to
he's
grow
doing well.
that. He wants to get to 8, but like, I bet you if he was to walk in a room and you're like, how many deals a year you do? He'd be like 4, but he's probably more profitable than any other person out there doing 15, 20, 30, 40. And then it's really interesting because he said he went to like this seminar this weekend and he's like, dude, there was a guy got on stage and was talking. They did 47 deals. And between the two of them, they made about 100K each when he was done running the numbers. He's like, man, they made like 100K. That was it. And they did 47 deals. Yeah, because they made like 14K a deal and 47 deals. Time they paid expenses, people, marketing, split the money. They brung in about 200K. And he's like, I did 1 deal and made more than that.
Right.
So like, now, obviously, I don't think in Maryland we're going to do 1 deal and make 200K. He just happened to have a really good deal that offered that. But, what if we make 50K a house and then we just do like 5 houses for 250K in income? That's a way better business model. Wholesaling 40 deals to make, and flipping some, having all the people, all the expenses. That's a way better model. And that's what we're always focused on. What's the least amount of deals you can do to make the most amount of money? Every year I do less deals. That's my mission. Now my profit's been going up every year, but my deals have been going down. Scaling down the profit up, man. That's my.
Yeah, I've been noticing that. Like, you're doing a little less, but it's still making your profit, still making your income.
They're increasing. I'm not still making them every year. My income has increased for the last 3 years. And I went from 71 to 51. This year, I'm on track to probably do 40 or 35. Next year, I'm looking to get down about 25 or 30. But my income has went up like a lot. I mean, first year it went up a ton, and then it went up a bunch, 20%, 10%. It's been going up consistently. But the thing is, my time's going down. My freedom's going up because I'm not doing as much. And, I just didn't think it was possible, right? I came from this high volume model of doing like 150 deals a year and thought that was the way it needed to be. And I didn't realize like I make more money now doing like 35 deals a year than I did when I was doing 150, but doing them correctly, right? So yeah, that's what we talk about in the groups.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. Like for me, I was looking at my P&Ls and kind of we track how much money we make per deal, and I was averaging somewhere like 34,000 a house this year, and I was like, wow, like. Before, I even got in a group, I was really looking for 25,000 a house. And if it fell at 20, I was still happy. Not to say that's not something bad if you're getting that type of profit. It's still great. But the point about it is that I didn't even think it was possible to get to like 35. And now I find myself thinking like, well, is it possible for me to get to 40? And and what can I do within the deals that I'm doing to be more efficient, to make more profit? That's kind of what we talk about and the type of things that we do in the group. It's just about being efficiencies and how you can be better. And really what helped to me, I think that I didn't even think about it before, but the fact that the savings that I've made on the construction side, the savings I've made on just being faster, it allows me to get in more deals. So I'm thinking like, well, how am I able to get these deals sometimes? But it really is the fact that I could pay a little more in some cases, or I know I can get the renovation done at a cheaper price because I've been working on these processes and routines. So definitely,
you nailed it right there. That is I don't think I've ever articulated it like you just did, but honestly, I think the number one like competitive edge that we created in this group, and I've created my own business to win now in this tough market we're in, is being able to do the construction cheaper. Like if you're able to come in and do it for 60 and your competitors are doing it for 70, that means in general, you're offering 10K more than them. You're going to win even when they overpay most of the time. And you're then going to make profit. So how cool is it to go in there, beat them out? They're probably like, oh, he ain't going to make no money. And then you bang out, make 35, 40K on them. And they're just like, well, how's he doing this nonstop? Because see, you're taking and getting that cost down. Because see, that's where like everyone talks about your money's made when you buy the deal. Yes, that's somewhat true, but like I see all the money being lost when you rehab it and pay too much and then go too long. You pay 70K when it should have been 55. That's just money flushed down the toilet. You can't run a successful flipping business unless you know how to hack that cost and get it down and get it down and down. And honestly, right now I just hired a CFO. I didn't even tell you this. I hired a CFO like today. I'm actually he's going to be working with me to try to hack the cost down even more over the next 6 months. Because if I can get it down just a couple K a flip, 5K a flip, that's meaningful. That's what gets me winning deals. Why I can go out. I had a week where we got 7 deals in a week. Everyone else can't find deals. You've been finding like more, right? You got more deals than you can handle. And when I met you, you didn't have enough deals. And now tell them what your problem is. Like, what are we talking about? Like
now we talking about just kind of like storing houses a little bit, sitting them on the sideline and mapping them out. So
Yeah,
might have
you have
purchased,
inventory. He has
yeah,
inventory, back inventory of houses that he's trying to figure out how to get them all done. That's a great change, though, in this market right now. And you're profitable in your deals. You got all the inventory you need, and you get to work on stuff that matters, right? But you're not like you're coming from a place of abundance,
I
not.
can be choosy. I can definitely like, handpick the ones that's great for me that I know it's going to be good upside. I don't have to. Before it was like panic mode when you got guys that you want to keep and you want to keep them working and you don't have any houses. I'll take this deal and make $10,000 because you try to just
Oh,
take anything at that point. But being to a point, like you said, of abundance where that you can actually put something to the side and have a map out for the next 6, 7 months on, probably next 6 months on what projects going to be for you guys for the most part. Really, really is helpful.
that's been great for me too, and I know great for you and a lot of the other people. Overall, what do you feel like? How do you feel? I mean, do you feel like you made a good decision joining the group? And what are some of your biggest takeaways you can share with the listeners?
So for me, if you listen to the podcast, on my first deal, I didn't go the coaching route, and and I learned my lessons, and it worked out, to get me started, right? But I think this was one of the best decisions I ever made. It's huge for my business. I came in, I wanted to know how could I turn it into a system? How can I make my flipping business into an actual business? And I think I've been able to achieve most of that at this point. I'm flipping double the amount of houses I worked before. Yeah, a lot more profitable than I was getting before. I'm not doing nothing in the business. I still have a lot of day-to-day stuff that goes on to run the flipping business. But, I don't have to do as much as I was doing in terms of running around, carrying materials and all types of craziness. But it's more about making decisions on how can I find more money to fund my deals, how can I find more deals to fund for my business. So that's my focus on the day-to-day versus kind of the details of, I guess, managing the project out in the field, right? So that definitely helped me a lot. I'm able to spend more time with my family, which was a huge piece for me. I'm able to do vacations more. That was a big topic too, with the wife and the kids. All of those things come from benefits I've got from being in this group and just having somebody that you can talk to weekly. And when you going crazy and you want to go in there and curse out the contractor sometimes, because I'm not perfect. Sometimes, I fall back into it like, hey, I want to really tell them how I feel and be able to get on the phone with somebody and say, you know what, Robert, you might want to not go there today. Go tomorrow, get yourself together. And somebody has experienced those things as well and can relate to it and know, like, you know what, this probably is not the best option for you at this point, especially when this guy's doing like 2 or 3 of your houses. And if he walks out, you're going to be in a world of trouble. So, that helps you a lot. And also learning from, not only your successes that you've made in this business, but also your mistakes. That helps a lot because it helps you not to go over that same bomb land in the sand, right? So I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. I think when you talk about, you learning from my mistakes, I have to say, I think one of the biggest benefits that we all can learn from is how to learn from our own mistakes, because some of the things that I would say is probably the worst money you've ever lost or you've messed up is the stuff that you've messed up, but you have no clue why you did it or how to fix it. So you don't actually learn from your own mistake. And I have to say, I've done that many times. And there's been things where I feel like I did it for years. Like, it's just like, man, I'm still doing this, man. I'm too far in the game to be doing this. And now I'm starting to really get focused on those things that we repeat and trying to hack those down. And so actually learning from my own mistakes and learning from others' mistakes is like something we could spend a lot of our time. Because we have all the feedback of how to be great and be a master house flipper is in the mistakes we make every day and in the mistakes Robert's making, I'm making, other people are making. It's out there. We just got to open our eyes, get humble, and pay attention. And it's all good from there once we do.
Fail every day, right?
Fail every day, failing forward, right? Great book too, by the way. Robert, thank you so much, man. You've been great to work with. Awesome in the group, still a big part of it. Love having you in here and just cool stuff, man. I know Robert, actually, we did a 3-day training on finding deals where we went out to look at deals. You remember the one we wouldn't walk into, the one that was all moldy?
Oh yeah, the mold
I,
house.
I have it under contract now.
Oh,
I
you
just
did?
got it under contract the other day. So February, and now it is October. It took me 6 months roughly. All right. That's like 7 months even.
Wow, 7 months.
7, 8 months later. And the other house we looked at, Rashad got under contract, another student. So
Nice.
like, dude, we went and seen 3 houses, and of our students, we got 2 out of 3 under contract.
Yeah.
Mine was the long game, however. I definitely was the long game, but funny enough, another student, so it ended up being a family deal. Another student did a short sale on it. So Darshan did a short sale on it. He then wholesaled it to me because I was close to home. Knew I'd take on. It's a pretty nasty house. So he's like, he was happy selling it to me because not everybody would want to buy that house, but I knew what to do with it. Yeah, we all get to make money, man. It was kind of cool. And it all started from us going in and trying to figure out how to look at the lease least amount of houses and get the most amount of deals. Well, we took about 2 hours to do this search, and then we went out and spent about a half day looking at houses, and we looked at 3 houses, and to get 2 out of 3 is pretty freaking awesome off the MLS, zero marketing. Baltimore is a very competitive market. It's DC. We're only 30 minutes from DC, so it's very competitive here.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I know you got still have the video of us going in the house. So I'm interested to see how that one turned out, though. But
Well, I went there to look at it when he came. I didn't realize it was the same house. I just thought he was sending me a deal, and I was like, "Oh, this is the house again." I'm like, "It's back." Like, also, it's like 3 people have sent it to me since then, and it was a matter of like waiting till the timing was right, and the timing got right. We got it for a number. I picked it up for like 76,000 or something like that, and I'm put about 75K into it. It's worth like 230 all day. I've sold a few, yeah. So it's a decent deal. About 80K spread. Probably make about 40K on it. Once we get past some of the mold and all that, I can get all that done. The house gets easy, right? It gets easy from there. Probably got about 10K to get it feeling easy. And then, and me be able to walk in it again without, needing a mask. Once we get to that, we're good, man. But yeah, we're all experienced flippers in this group, and we all opened the door and looked at each other like, man,
what?
We're not walking in there. Like,
that was
totally,
the worst
right?
house I probably ever seen. I mean, but that's a good video. You kind of take one of those houses from being crazy to being flipped and looking beautiful. So
I think we'll have to video, man. I'll make sure we video because it's got a good story behind it. A good story of perseverance, sticking with deals. Like when you have a good follow-up system, that's what I've been able to create. I don't get all my deals instantly, but I have a really good system that if I think something's close and I consider it like a hot opportunity, I follow up with it until someone else buys it, period. And then they settle it too. I confirm they've settled it because half the time they don't settle it, and then I get an opportunity again. And a lot, 30% of my deals come from stuff that other people have like not paying attention to anymore. Exactly. That's like great time to get it. But either way, if you're just getting the other 70%, you're good too. But if you can get the extra 30, why not, right? I like to pick up deals that I shouldn't have, like more than my fair share. I'm greedy, man. I want a little extra,
That's how you teach us to be greedy. But I mean, greedy in the right way, though.
Yeah, we're not greedy with our people. We pay them properly. We treat them fairly. We do all that. But we're greedy with being wasteful, right? I would say we're not wasteful. We don't want to, overpay for anything. We don't want to buy something from this store we can get from another store $100 cheaper. We want to fight for our deals really hard and we want to, we don't let our competition win. In our group, I don't think I've ever even competed with anyone in the group. But even when I think there was like one time me and Nick had a deal together, he kind of seen it and I seen it at the same time. And we just ended up saying, I told him, if you want it, you can have it. Then he ended up not wanting it because he found another deal closer to home in the same week. And I was like, cool, I'll take it then. And we were like, all good. But that was like one time in 2 years. And the thing is, we work well together because, we're very abundant. So nobody's like, like, oh man, that's my deal. There's none of that going on because everybody's got plenty of deals. And that's I have to say I'm happier in that place. When I was at my old company, we were doing 150 a year. I never felt that way. Every day, my biggest struggle, my biggest fear was, will I have enough deals to support this machine? Because if not, then my fear was the people I was loyal to wouldn't have enough work and I wouldn't make enough money to pay my employees. And I didn't sleep well at night. I worked like 70 hours a week because my fear was if I didn't work that hard, that I would let everyone down and myself included, but my people, even more importantly. So now I don't have to deal with that ever, man. I just know deals will be there. My systems are working. Everyone's going to be happy and I can travel and do some cool stuff. So happy, man. Thank you for being part of the group. Thanks for this testimonial. There's a lot of really good stuff there. I know people get a lot of value. These testimonials are almost like podcasts, kind of like, so we wanted them to be that way because you got a lot to give back, man. I appreciate you sharing.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you for everything you've done to support me and help me be successful for my family. So, definitely appreciate that. And keep doing what you're doing. Anybody out there, make sure you go ahead and join Mike's group, and then you can be the next 1%er as well in house flipping.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It was awesome, man. All right. We'll see you guys. Thanks, Robert. Have a great day, everyone.